Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing my last November daily 2017 process video with you. I will plan on filming a quick flip through of all the pages, just like 5 minutes long, however long it takes to flip through, just in case somebody wants to see it without all of the process. But other than that, this is it. So I'm excited to have my last video up for you guys. This project was really fun because it had such a different focus than October. October was all about what we did on a given day, and this November album was a lot more about little moments and little things that I'm grateful for. So yeah, it was a really fun project. Here I am doing something from the end of Thanksgiving Day, technically. I had this piece of dotted vellum and the color was purple. The color was perfect for the album. So I just cut it down in the middle there because the middle was just completely white, and then layered some sparkly washi tape and then this canvas heart, which I thought was a sticker but was not, just to kind of make a little decorated page there. On the other side, I'm putting in some pictures of me and Casey that we had tried to take a selfie together on Thanksgiving, and it just was not going well. We're making really funny faces in all of them. One of them is turned backwards and taking a picture of the table and my light for filming, and it just kind of cracked me up. So I thought documenting that would be just kind of a fun filler page because this album was more minimal, I ended up with quite a few extra pages in the second album, so I wanted to kind of spread it out a little bit. So I'm adding this camera, which is from an old Studio Calico kit, and matting it on some paper from One Canoe 2. And then I'm just going to try to figure out where to add a caption, because I don't like how much of our walls and things are in these pictures, because it's just a little bit blank but also kind of brown or yellowy. So I'm adding some washi tape here to kind of cover that up, and then I'm using the gray alpha from Purkey to spell out not quite, because we were trying really hard to oh, I guess I switched to white. That's funny, not surprising. Anyway, I spell out not quite because obviously we were struggling to get a good picture here. So yeah, just trying to make the best of the page. I think that's the first cue that I've used, so that's winning something, I suppose. And I have my new packages now from the Black Friday shopping spree. Even though they really weren't on sale, it seemed like the right time to stock up again, and so I have some little periods. So I'm going to add an ellipsis here and then work on some color at the bottom of the page. I'm also looking at the word and phrase stickers to see if there's anything that I want to add, since those are kind of fall themed. And I'm using some more of the arrow paper from One Canoe 2 at the bottom, since it's matting the camera, and looking for other things that might work well with it. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing around until something fits and works in the space. And I had this piece that I cut off, I think from one of the first days of the month, just some grid paper matted on that coral from Maggie Holmes, and so I just put it on the side there, and I'm adding some word and phrase stickers, and then a little copper heart just to give it some embellishment and journaling. So for these next few days, we were home, kind of on like a Thanksgiving break. We took some vacation time. So after we got the house all the lights up on the house and everything, we spent some time watching movies and shows and working on projects and crafts and things. And so I spent quite a lot of time watching and listening to Call the Midwife, which is a BBC show on Netflix, and I'd watched part of it before and decided to start again, and it's just so good. It's about all these nurses in London in the 1950s, right after World War II, and it's just really, I don't know, it's just a really good show. It's really fascinating and heartwarming, and it's really sad too, but not the kind of sad that leaves you feeling depressed for a long time. Just, there's enough hopeful stuff that you're not just like, super despairing about the world. But I decided to then title this page Netflix and Cry, because that's pretty accurate as to how I feel when I'm watching this show. But it was really nice to kind of watch it and listen to it while I was working on some projects, including this album and, some other lettering and watercoloring and things like that. So I don't always get the chance to spend a whole day doing something like that, so it was really nice to take that break. And so this is actually days 25 and 26. So I'm just going to put the numbers in the corners of the photo there to keep it kind of simple. I didn't think that since the pictures were the same, they really needed to be on 2 pages. I have these white stars from an old messy box that I didn't really have a use for, but they worked since they were white. And I also have this copper sort of geometric star from an old Studio Calico kit, so I think it works well, and it keeps it pretty simple but adds some more white to the page. On the 27th, that was the day that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced their engagement, and I don't know, I didn't really think that I cared that much about, I don't know, royal family stuff. I didn't get super into Will and Kate, but I was really excited about it, and sometimes I feel like the world is full of some not so great news and drama and problems and things like that, so I just thought that was the perfect thing to document on this day, that we actually got some happy news in the world. So yeah, it's a little bit silly, but I just wanted to document whatever it was I was thinking about on a given day. So I've matted it on some of this copper paper, just a scrap from making the traveler's notebook, and then used some copper tape to kind of make a little border on the side. And I was writing out happy news, and I just didn't really like the way that it looked, so I'm starting over again. And I've got a scrap of pink paper just to add some color, and I'm going to use the white alpha to spell out happy news instead. Thank goodness for this white alpha. And I like that the pink paper still gives me a neutral, solid background, but it's not, it's not white since the background of the page is already white. I just wanted to add some pink and red to it. So I've written underneath it that they got engaged, and I'm matting it and sticking down the photo and the copper paper. And I kind of like it offset into the corner, just because that contrasts with the page next to it. And then I put the title off center as well. While I was making this, we actually had to run to Michael's and get more adhesive, and they never have the replacement for the adhesive that I usually buy, so I've switched brands to the Tombow again, which of course the inserts didn't fit in my trial size that I had before, so thank goodness they were open till 9. I've added a few copper hearts and then a copper strip of washi tape at the top, and then I'm going to add the number for the day. I'm running low on my cork numbers, and also I found out after I'd already finished these pages that I think my cats were playing with them, because I found a 7 on the floor next to some shoes, and I found the 8 like stuffed into the couch cover, so I probably actually could have used them, but that's okay. And so I just used the Amy Tangerine Alpha, and then I add a plus sign from One Canoe 2. I'm just looking at my list to make sure I am documenting the correct things on the correct day. So on the 28th, our sweet Scallywag, Scally, our little pirate cat, I don't know, he was having some problems in the litter box, and we called the vet, and they were kind of non-committal about whether or not he needed to come in because it was already the end of their work day in case he would have had to rush home from work. So we were just going to watch him and take him in the morning, and then we started getting pretty nervous about it in the evening, and so we took him to the emergency vet in a different city, and poor guy, he was kind of, poked and prodded and whatever, and anyway, he wasn't really sick or anything, but they did give us some medicine, and we got home really late, and of course the other cat, Duchess, didn't recognize him anymore because he smelled like the vet and hissed all night. It was a struggle, and then for several days after that, we pretty much just cat parented, giving him medicine 3 times a day and separating the cats, and then he wouldn't use his litter box because he thought his litter box was hurting him, and it wasn't. So it's just a saga of cat problems for several days here. So on that one, I just put that I was thankful for 24-hour vets because I'm glad that that's an option when it's late and you don't know what to do. And I also had found this quote when I was doing my November challenge looking for gratitude quotes, and I just thought interrupt anxiety with gratitude was kind of perfect for this situation and these days. And I was trying to focus on the fact, that he wasn't super sick and that we could afford the medicine and that there was a 24-hour vet that we could go to, and that, I have a job where I was able to say, I didn't sleep last night, I'm not coming in because my cat is sick, and take a day off for that reason. And so that quote I felt like was perfect for this part of the month, unfortunately, which wasn't very fun. The next day we still only basically did cat things, but we did go out and get dinner, and then we had tickets to a Christmas concert, and so my in-laws were able to kind of watch over the cats that evening. So we were pretty tired, and we were probably not the most fun, going out and doing things together, but it was a nice break to get out of the house a little bit. So I just have a picture of my favorite salad from a local bakery, and I'm using these Purkey Alpha, which came in a traveler's notebook kit that I got on Black Friday, to spell out little breaks on this page. I was trying to avoid too much black, but I think it actually adds more white because of the border around the letter. So I like how it looks, and then I just add a little bit of copper washi tape at the bottom. And now I'm just looking for the numbers that I want to use. Again, I'm almost out of compatible cork numbers, but I do have 29 left, so I use these, and I'm using this Tombow thing because I ran out of the other ones, and the glue is kind of like stretchy when it comes off, and it kept getting on this white paper, which I was going to write on, so that was kind of a bummer. It actually leaves like a spot there, and then I kind of cover it up, and then I don't like how I covered it up, but that's okay. I'm just trying to go with the flow so I can finish this project. Back in October, I think it is, I saw a post from Dear Lizzie on Instagram, and she just kind of typed out a bunch of things, saying like, more ice cream, more laughs, more this, more that, just a bunch of things in a row. And I just thought that that was really kind of a fun way to journal or caption. And so in October, I kind of Scrap stole that, or I don't know, Instagram stole that idea and wrote out a list of things that I was loving about October, basically in that format. And so I decided to recreate that this month with all the things about November and fall that I wanted more of or was really enjoying. And so I love that format that she did, and I think it's really fun in these albums. So I'm hoping to do something similar in my December daily as well. But I actually wrote kind of small, so I'm trying to think of a few more here at the end. And then I'm just trying to figure out how I want to finish off this page. And so I just sketch a little border around the edge of it. And I'm trying to find some ephemera that I like to add to this page, but I'm running a little bit low and it's kind of a weird size to see what fits in there. I decided on this leaf from A Beautiful Mess and this slice of wood from One Canoe 2. I'm using my Zig glue pen and also the Tombow adhesive. They have these like really tiny stems that are just, too hard to get normal adhesive on. So I just kind of layer those at the top. And I actually really like how that turned out. The part that I don't end up loving is what I did at the bottom. And I actually tried to take it off later and change it, but it was kind of ripping the paper, so I just left it there. I used a copper heart here from old Studio Calico sticker. And then one of the plus signs from One Canoe 2. I am looking through my word and phrase stickers from Studio Calico. Again, just trying to use up a few more since they're fall themed. Not that I can't use them in my normal album, obviously, whenever I go back to that. I do add self-care to the bottom of the previous page, just because that was kind of, with all the cat things being stressful, taking any amount of time for ourselves felt like self-care. So at the bottom, I'm now doing the thing that I don't end up liking, but I wanted to cover up those smudges, and I'm just layering some washi strips from A Beautiful Mess and then later some washi tape because I'm trying to get back into the right color scheme. And it's okay. I just don't love it, but that's all right. So just layering them here and then chopping them off. And I think I decided that one of them isn't working and I take that off too. And I'm looking for embellishments to layer, but it just looks too crazy with more things on it. So eventually I take one of the strips of washi tape out because it's just kind of not the right color. And I relayer them and I just kind of give up on making it look better. So the last page, the 30th, was that our cats finally sort of cuddled again, meaning Duchess was no longer hissing at Scally because she didn't recognize him, though it did continue on and off after that because when we give him his medicine, he smells different and it makes her angry or whatever. So, it was still a positive, even if it wasn't a permanent positive. So I just matted the bottom of that on a little bit of pink paper, and then I'm layering a copper and the coral papers as well at the bottom here just to give it some more color. I'm using this last leaf from A Beautiful Mess, which I'm so happy that I was able to use these up on this project. I've had them for a while and didn't know what to finish, like to use the rest of them on, so this is perfect. I'm using my Zig glue pen again to get those little pointy edges so that they stick down and don't get bent up. And I'm setting this box on top of it just so it sticks down right away. So I'm looking at the next page now, which in October I did a little synopsis at the end of my album of like my favorite memories for the month. So I decided I wanted to do that again, and I had one more page, so it worked out perfectly. I'm using this wood paper from Maggie Holmes, and I just matted it in the sort of in the middle there. And now that my leaf is dry, I'm adding 30 and a few little embellishments to the bottom of this page. And I'm using some more word and phrase stickers as well on this little leaf. And I really like how that looks. So now I'm just looking for some white paper to write out my journaling for my favorite parts of the month. It was a pretty hard month for us, but I still kind of wanted to record those things because there were some good memories and moments. And so I'm just flipping back through my first book and the beginning of the second book here just to kind of make sure I'm not going to forget anything. And so I clip it back and then work on my journaling. I'm using the 08 Secura Micron pen because I wanted it to show up pretty well. I don't know why I'm putting check boxes because they're memories, not things to be completed, but that's okay. Maybe I'll cover them up later or something, or maybe I will just leave them. So yeah, just journaling out my favorite moments of the month, and I'm just going to stick it down on the wood background and then figure out how I want to title the top of the page and add color. I find these two scraps that I think will layer pretty well and add multiple colors to the page. And I just write out the title at the top here, which I don't love, but I'm gonna try it at least and see how it goes. Sometimes you know that something won't work, and other times you're like, this will probably work, I just need to mess with it. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this one. I'm also trying to figure out how to embellish the top there, and I find this 1 Canoe 2 flower, which works out pretty well, and I'm just drawing a little border around the title and then darkening the downstrokes of the letters again, which is what I do a lot in my lettering to make it look a little more fancy, a little prettier, and I think it really helps a lot on this particular title because it was looking pretty boring before this. So I'm happy with how that turned out. And I'm looking around just a little bit more, but I'm going to call it good. I don't make any more changes to this page. So now you can see the final photos. I really like how many different types of things I was able to document in this album. I like that some of the pages are just decorated, others are photo heavy, and a lot of them are just more simple than the October pages were. I love this one because it just cracks me up how we didn't successfully get a Thanksgiving selfie. I like that I was able to document little tiny things like, shows I was watching or, news about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, because that's what was going on. And I always say this, but it doesn't need to be a big thing that you're documenting every time you document. I don't know. I just think that those things are important too. And if they're making you happy on a given day, then go ahead and share it. I loved documenting things about our cats, even though it obviously wasn't very fun to, have to take our kitty to the vet and give him a bunch of medicines and deal with, other cat issues that were related. But, we still are grateful for things like 24-hour vet offices. Yeah, so I just really love how everything turned out and how much fun that this size is the second time around and getting to play with different ideas and things like that. So I would love to hear from you guys on what you liked and if you've ever tried an album this size or done a gratitude album, because I just had a lot of fun with it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.